Does Phyllis hate Cricket, or is she just jealous of her on The Young and the Restless? On The Young and the Restless, November 21st, Phyllis supposedly sent Cricket a cruel gift. She recalled their complicated history to Kane, but claimed there wasn't any bad blood between them. Key takeaways. It's finally Christine and Danny's wedding day. Christine receives a bouquet of chrysanthemums, which she's allergic to. It's assumed that the gift came from Phyllis. Phyllis shared the truth behind her long-standing feud with Kane. Something new and allergic. On Friday's episode, Christine, Laura Lee Bell, got ready for her big day in her hotel room. She got a knock on the door. There's a delivery for Christine. She accepted the flowers, but started sneezing the minute she held them. Christine found out they're chrysanthemums and continued sneezing. She immediately threw the gift out in the hallway. Lauren, Tracy Bregman, and Nina, Trisha Cast, wondered if the gift had been sent by Phyllis, Michelle Stafford, who reflected on the beautiful days of Weiner, as she kept making herself known at this ceremony for some reason. Later, it was revealed that Esther, Kate Linder, had sent the flowers. They assured Christine that she'll be fine during the ceremony. However, Christine noticed that she was getting itchy. She was upset that Phyllis would try to sabotage her wedding day. However, the two have had a long-standing feud for decades. What's the beef? Phyllis should be feeling happier and lighter these days. She's working with Kane, Billy Flynn, and sleeping with him, and going behind his back. She also made a deal with the devil, Victor Newman, Eric Braden. Phyllis should be acting like she's on top of the world right now. But she's still having a crash out over Danny, Michael Damian, and Cricket's wedding. After crashing the wedding party at the Genoa City Athletic Club, Phyllis and Kane grabbed coffee at Crimson Lights. Kane brought up Phyllis's feud with Cricket. Does she hate her, or was she just jealous of her? Phyllis claimed it was weird that Danny moved on so quickly. However, she also made it clear that she also moved on. If so, she has a weird way of showing it. Is Phyllis jealous? Isn't it ironic? Phyllis moved forward with Kane. But she's still hung up on Danny choosing Cricket over her. The two clearly love each other, and they enjoy their drama-free relationship when Phyllis isn't around. Phyllis might not hate Cricket, but she is clearly jealous of her. She admitted that she hated losing. She couldn't imagine that she would one day lose to Christine. Phyllis sees Danny as the father of her son. She assumed they would get married and hit the road together. It still pains her to see Cricket in that spot. In Genoa City, grudges last longer than marriages, schemers outlive their schemes, and history has a way of looping back on itself like a soap operatic Mobius strip. And in that swirling vortex of rivalries, one particular tension stands out like a neon sign flashing unresolved. Phyllis Summers versus Christine Cricket Blair. The question has echoed through fan boards, living rooms, and decades of storylines. Does Phyllis truly hate Cricket, or is she simply jealous of her? To explore that, we have to understand these women, not just as characters, but as archetypes. On The Young and the Restless, Phyllis and Cricket aren't simply two adversaries. They're narrative opposites. They are fire and silk, chaos and calm, the hurricane and the sunny afternoon that never expects to be interrupted. And yet, somehow, they are forever entangled. 1. The origin story, when dislike became destiny. Every animosity has an origin story, and theirs began with a triangle sharper than a Newman Limitless shareholder meeting. Danny Romalotti. The rock star with a soft heart was everything both women, in very different ways, believed they deserved. Christine, youthful and idealistic, loved Danny with a clean sincerity. She saw him as a life partner, someone she could grow with. Phyllis, on the other hand, wanted Danny like someone wants a key to a future they feel locked out of. Phyllis wasn't just pursuing Danny, she was pursuing validation, respect, and emotional security drenched in glamour. Danny represented the life she believed she should have had. The problem? Christine already had it. This is the seed of their lifelong rivalry. And like any seed planted in Genoa City soil, it sprouted into a twisted, thorny vine no gardener could eliminate. 2. Phyllis, the gloriously flawed firestorm. Phyllis Summers is a character built from contradictions. She's brilliant but impulsive, loyal yet destructive, vulnerable but hiding behind spikes of humor and manipulation. She wants to be loved, but she wants to be loved on her terms, which often means on the ruins of her own decisions. When Phyllis looks at Cricket, she doesn't just see an enemy. She sees a mirror reflecting everything she feels she wasn't allowed to be. Cricket is the town's moral compass, the perennial good girl, the woman who always tries to do things the right way, even when she missteps. And in Genoa City, where moral lines blur faster than a Victor Newman bluff, Christine's integrity shines almost excessively bright. For Phyllis, that brightness can feel harsh, like a spotlight exposing flaws she wishes she didn't have. So does Phyllis hate Cricket? But she hates what Cricket represents even more. 3. Cricket, the unshakable optimist with a long memory. Christine Blair isn't naive. She's compassionate, but she's also a prosecutor who has stared down stalkers, corruption, and personal heartbreak. She's strong in a way that sneaks up on people. Cricket's problem isn't that she doesn't understand Phyllis. It's that she does. She sees the damage Phyllis causes, the chaos she unleashes, and she refuses to look away from it or sugarcoat it. To Phyllis, this feels like judgment. To Cricket, it feels like moral necessity. So when she and Phyllis cross paths, it isn't just old romantic rivalry bubbling up. It's the clash of two philosophies. And nothing enrages a chaos-driven person more than someone insisting on ethical consistency.